Hey guys, welcome to another episode of tying a pike streamer. Today we tie a streamer which I've been lately really successful with. It's articulated streamer, 2 hooks, Bauer style. But today we tie it on the Drown River Premium Hechthaken, as they are really thin, and I think I can tie them a really light streamer, which I can fish really slow. So it's dry, and I hope it works out. We start with the 3/0 hook in the back, so we'll get quite a big streamer. But that's what worked for me lately, and that's why I share it with you. I think it's mainly the color, but with these hooks I can just fish it even slower, so I like the idea of it. So we tie in the tail connector like that. Don't have to reverse anything. There will be only the tail, and the pike won't be able to pull it out. We started with the hook, and now we tie in Bucktail and then cover it with flash. But first of all, I want to get some rattle in here, just as I have space and I can use it, and then just secure that with super glue. So with the Bucktail we take the 3 colors, it's Chartreuse, green and yellow, and you can mix it by just pulling out the tips, and you end up with something like that. I'll show you later how to mix it again. And I put them on the right lengths. Get them around the hook and just tie them in. So this is just our base layer for the flash. Now I actually cut the tips. As I mix the colors, they are not really good aligned, and I don't want to have a mess on my hook. So just cut it a bit, and now I can tie it down. Like that. Now we take a little bit of the Flashabou. So this is holo green and Chartreuse and gold from Hedron. There's not much you need, just a bit, and you can just mix it in your fingers by just sliding your fingers against each other. It will turn, and you can mix the colors like that. And as this is quite short, we'll cut it around 60-40 just to get some different lengths in it. Then just taper it a bit with the fingers like that, and place it on top. Just a few loose wraps, so we can still slide it around everywhere we want it, and then just pull it tight. As I said before, this is really only the base for the fly, just the stinger hook, trying to cover the shank, trying to get a little bit of distance in between. Like that. Just make a few knots. Cut it and secure it with some super glue. What we do now is kind of repeating the steps. So this time we take the 6/0 hook in the vise. Just get a thread wrap on the shank. When I try articulated flies, I like a little bit of super glue on my shank just to secure the thread wraps, and I need the thread wraps really to get some friction here, which is then holding the connection wire in place. Otherwise it could slide off. So what we do now is we take some of the 6mm beads, 4 in total, and then we take some 40 lb partridge pike wire. And that's the reason why I have a thick one. Just slide the beads on top of it, like that. And here I like both hooks to point down, as the stinger hook is a little bit bigger, and if I would point it sideways, the fly would tip over to the side. So just a few wraps. Like that. Here we have to reverse the thread, the wire, of course, so the pike can't pull it out. I just want to reverse it on the middle bit. As that's where I put my chenille later on top of it, so it doesn't really matter if the shank is a little bit thicker here. Yeah, it's a nice thing about the ball, you can just open it, slide the ceramic tube a bit out, get it tight again. It gives it just a little bit easier to tie here in the back. And now we repeat the bucktail step from the beginning. So we mix a little bit of yellow, a little bit more green than in the beginning. It's getting less and less yellow, and a fair amount of chartreuse as well. So now I can show you, we have our 3 colors here, and you can just pull out the tips and keep on doing that, just aligning the tips, and that's how you can mix the colors. And now you can see we have more green in it, that's all. Getting a little bit darker towards the front. So just cut the edges. Now that's where we need to tie it in approximately. Of course I will lose a few hairs on the where I haven't catched the hair the bucktail, but there's so many in this clump, so it doesn't really matter. But I can strike them out here and see I lose a few. As if you do it with the fingers, you can't align the tips or the hairs that perfectly, and you always lose a few. It's no problem at all. So just reverse this a little bit here. It just makes the front section a little bit denser, and it's a bit nicer to lay the flesh on top of it. So now we take a fair clump of the holo green or Chartreuse again, with the gold as well, a little bit more than in the beginning. And then we take a little bit of these Hedron, I think it's Pearl Olive. Can't remember the flash name, but I'll put it in the description. But it's definitely from Hedron. And then same procedure, you just mix the hairs up a bit. I think it's a little bit too green, so I take a little bit more gold Flashabou. You can adjust the color as you want it. You can also put really nice yellow Hedron Flashabou holographic in it as well. That looks really nice, but I don't have it anymore here. And also for the head section you can use dark green. So now it's a little bit more yellowish through the golden Flashabou. We want to catch around that length, so we taper it a bit, just a bit, not too much, and go all the way with the longest fibers to the back, and we just tie it in 3 loose wraps. Just move it around the hook so we get it everywhere. Just tie it down, take the brush, just brush it back a bit. And catch the fibers again. It doesn't really matter if you haven't covered every single side perfectly, as it's just the middle piece and there will be another flash layer on top of it. So now we've done that, just move that a little bit down. We've done that, we'll cover the body part with some chenille. And for that I got these Baitfish Emulator flash. Now our pike fly is getting darker and darker and darker towards the front. So we just tie it in, move the thread up front. You can use the rotary function of your vise now, but I usually just go easily around it. And what we can do with it is we can just cover a lot of our body of the fly without getting a lot of weight in it. So I'm usually always doing that with a synthetic material as well. And we catch the material, give it a few wraps in front of it to secure it, and then we can cut it. And just tie on top of it to secure it before you brush it out or before you get the hairs out with your dubbing needle, but I always just use my brush. It's just so much easier. So you see now we have a quite voluminous body here. So we have one more section of Bucktail coming up, and then one more section of flesh, and the fly is done. What we do now is we tie it in reverse. Spin the bobbin counterclockwise. 2-3 loose wraps. Spin it around the hook shank. Well, just pull it tight. Like that. Now show you up here. We also adjust our bobbin again, make it a little bit shorter as we tie the hook eye. That's a really nice thing about these tiempo bobbins. Then we just take our reverse tool, pull the thread out straight, and just tie in front of it. Takes a little bit longer with the 100 GSP if you tie a big bucktail head in front of it and reverse it, but it's fine. So before it's sliding down, take a little bit of super glue on the cone just to secure it. Make a few more wraps on top of it, so the glue is not annoying us. Quick way of drying it. And what we do later is what I like to do with flash streamers. You can either do a UV head, but what I really like is to put the fish mask on top like that. And what I even like more is you can cure them with UV glue, as you can just light through the fish mask. And what I like most is to take the Gulff Fluo green, but mine is empty, so I can't do it. I'll do it with Fatman, but I'll mix the Fatman with a little bit of glitter. I'll show you in a second. So we take again Flashabou, this time a bigger amount, as we want to cover the whole fly. All flash mixed. Just check the position of the Bucktail cone again. It's not that important as we put the fish mask on top of it, and the fish mask is kind of getting our shape as well already, as you see it. So if I put the fish mask on here, you see it's getting the Bucktail in perfect shape, and it's also quite a nice thing about it. So we go full length of the fly again. Two loose wraps, and just get the material all the way all around the fly like that, and just tie it down. Then we take the reverse tool and try to reverse the flash material. What you can do now is you just tie that on top and then put the fish mask on, or you hide thread underneath the flash and put the fish mask on then, and secure everything with glue. It's really up to you what you want to do. I like to put a little bit of thread here, just to get it a little bit more stable and have time to put the fish mask on. So I make a knot in it. Take a little bit of our super glue. And that's it. And now we take our Gulff. Usually I would just take immediately the Fluo green Gulff, but as I said before, it's empty. We just have to be a little bit creative. So take our Gulff. Now we take a little bit of sparkle powder. You can get it everywhere on the internet. This one I think is from Amazon. So just put in some green, some gold, take a dubbing needle and mix it up. Then it looks like that. Now we have our UV, Gulff UV mixed here. What we do now is just get it on the dubbing needle and just place it just top of the nose of the streamer. Careful with the flash. This helps us to cover our thread again. Like that. Hope you can see that. Make sure that the hook eye is free, and then just place our fish mask on top of it. Take the remainings off. You can just do it with the finger. And then secure it. And that you can really just do through the fish mask. That's the really nice thing about it. Now, see, everything is tight. Now we only have put a little bit of ice on top of it. With this pattern, I just love my Fluo orange UV eyes. I think they are 9mm. Usually you use 8mm for this size of fish skull, but will do the trick. And you can use just usual glue, UV glue, whatever. I just want to have it quick for the video, so I'm just using a bit of UV glue. I'm going to press it down. Like that. Take a little bit of UV glue around the eye, and you can just cure it through the fish mask again, so they will be rock solid. Do the same thing on the other side. Just press it down a bit into the glue, so it's coming out a little bit on the sides, but it's still looking good. And then we cure it. And then a little pike imitation fly is finished, only needs the tail. And the tail already prepared. Usually I use a dragon tail size XL, but as they were empty, I'll just work with the the gold silver one works as well. So that's the finished fly. I hope you like it. Enjoy tying it.